Hello everyone, it's Carrie Bradford, and today I'm going to show you how you can take and combine shapes that you already have and turn it into a print and cut that you can use as an accent card on a page or put it into your project life. So as you can see here, I have the example of what it is that we're going to be making. I also have a color palette that I have predetermined, and I will include those numbers to recreate these color schemes below in this post. So first, what we want to do is we want to make a card, and since I'm going to make this for a project as a project life card, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a rectangle, and I want to make it 3 by 4. So I'm going to come up to this size window and make it 3 by 4 and say apply. And if you notice down here, I have the shapes open from the various kits that you can find out on my site. So let's start with the polka dot shape. This comes from the Life Editions backgrounds, and I'm going to use this really big one. Even though this is a 4 by 6, I wanted more smaller circles versus the one that's 3 by 4 already. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that and come over here to our window and paste it in. And then I'm going to rotate it. And because we have rotated this, it says that, this is where it's saying this is the top. This is what we've rotated it to. So it says our width is 6 inches. And if you look at the width, that's not 6 inches. It's looking at the width as 6 inches being this way. So we need to put our height. It's really kind of screwy. I don't know why that works that way, but that's just how Silhouette works, and it is what it is. So you just work with it that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in a height of 3 inches and say apply. And if you'll notice, it is a little bit bigger than the rectangle. It's 4.5 inches tall. So I'm just going to go ahead and select both of those, come up to the line and center them. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and trim this up so that it fits within the rectangle that's there. So I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to press Control or Command F to paste it right on top. And you can see that that red line kind of doubled in thickness, so that you know that there is a second rectangle there. I'm going to move it to the top, and I'm going to press, let's just do right click and do bring to front. Before I do use the modify window, I want to make sure that this shape truly is a compound path. So, it may look like it's just one piece, but it could be grouped together. I'm not sure, so I want to right click, and I want to just go ahead and say make compound path. It is not grayed out. That option is not grayed out, so I know that it is not a compound path. So I'm going to go ahead and convert it into a compound path, and it changed the color of the lines by doing that even. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the circles, select the rectangle, come to the modify window, and select crop. And now you can see we have our perfectly shaped set of circles. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is let's go ahead and fill this with some color. So I'm going to come up to the fill color, grab my eyedropper tool, and I know that I want it in the black. This is kind of a grayish black, and this is black. And you can tell that by, if you notice the numbers that are out to the side of that eyedropper, you can see that 000. That means there's absolutely no color in that whatsoever. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose that as black. And then I'm going to select the background shape there. Let's make sure that we're on it. I'm just going to move that down so I can make sure I can grab that. Come to the eyedropper tool and grab the orange. And then let's move this back up. And I'm going to select both of them, come to the line color, and turn off the line color. All right, so that's looking pretty good there. Next thing we want to do is we want to draw the rectangle that goes in here. And so let's go ahead and grab our rectangle tool. Just going to kind of draw in here. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and fill it with color just so that we can see it over those dots. And I'm going to use this faded black color. So I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool and then go ahead and click on that. And let's go ahead and turn off the line color as well. So now I want to make sure that this is a certain size. I just want it to be 2.5 inches tall. So come to the scale window and put in, we need to make sure it's 3 inches by 2.5 and then say apply. And now let's go ahead and center all of this together. All right, next thing we want to do is we're going to make these little lines here. And the easiest, fastest way to do this is to go ahead and copy and then paste right on top of it. Control C, Control F, and we're just going to go and make our little rectangle, and so that it's maybe 0.04. Let's fill it with color so that we can see it on that black. We're going to use this shade right here. And maybe let's just go ahead and pull it down just a little bit more, maybe 0.06. All right, and then we can press Control C, Control F, select the black rectangle, and then we are going to align the new rectangle that we just made with the bottom of this one. And so everything gets perfectly aligned without any other aligning. So go to Align Bottom, and now everything is perfectly placed. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the two rectangles, the two tiny little thin rectangle lines, and group them together just so that they, if I do any other sort of alignment, then they're always together. So let's make sure I've got both of those selected. Right click and choose group. And let's move that one back. You can do that by pressing Control or Command and the left square bracket. Or you can right click and choose send backward, either way. Okay, so we've got the base for our card, which is looking really lovely. And now I want to go ahead and grab this little spiderweb guy. So let's come over here. This is the spiderweb. It comes from the This and That All Hallows Eve kit. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it and then move over to our card and paste it in. And as you can tell, I need it flipped. So I'm going to right click and choose Flip Horizontally. And then we just need to resize it so that it fits in that upper corner. You know, and as I'm sitting here doing this, it just makes me think, you know, it looks like you've done all the work. It looks like somebody else, you know, you've gone through and you've designed this and you're putting this all together, and yet all you're doing is just utilizing your resources and bringing a whole bunch of different elements and mixing them and matching them together to make something completely new. And I love that. So now we have our spider web and we want to fill it with that creamy color, and it's already in this box here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. And if you notice, there's a difference between these two. This is really bold and saying, hello, I'm here, and we don't want it quite like that. So we're going to come over here to our advanced options, and we are going to take the transparency down to about, let's say about 25, 26%. And you can see that just kind of lightens it up a little bit, so it's a little more subtle. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and grab the elements for our title, and this all happens to be together. It comes from the This Is Halloween kit. So we can just take these two. So let's come over here and grab the Call Me Wicked, and let's go ahead and grab the title and copy it over to our card. And I'm just going to go ahead and size it on down. And of course you could add any title you wanted, but I'm just going to go ahead and use something that's already been created. Let's fill it with color. So let's do the Just Call Me with the, let's do it with the cream color. And it looks like that is not a compound path, which is what I wasn't sure if it was or not. So let's go ahead and right click and choose Make Compound Path, and you can see that it changed the holes that were there to actual holes. I mean, the Silhouette was seeing them as a shape upon a shape, but now that it's looking at it as holes. And let's go ahead and turn off the line color. And let's do the same for Wicked. So we'll turn off the line color while we're there, come to the fill color, grab the eyedropper tool, and fill it with orange. And again, it is not a compound path, so we're going to right click and choose Make Compound Path. Alrighty then. Now let's go ahead and just kind of put these two together. Just going to kind of slightly overlap them. And then I'm just going to go ahead and group them together so that as I work with them as a whole. And that looks just about right. All right, let's go ahead and grab the elements for the hat. Come back over here to Call Me Wicked. Grab these items, copy, come back over here and paste. And let's size it down a bit. And I'm just going to kind of move it up here a little bit. And I can tell that this needs to be turned into a compound path right here. So I'll right click and make compound path. And while I did not add the gray, the shades of gray to my color palette here, we're just using the simple colors from within here. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose that and choose a darker gray and make the hat orange. And since it's already selected here, I can just go ahead and click on that. Let's grab those, turn off the line color, and now let's go ahead and get these items together. Put that about in there and grab the buckle part and set it on. And then let's go ahead and group that together. And I'm just going to go ahead and move it on down. And I want this to be behind the words Just Call Me. So again, I'm going to press Control or Command and the left bracket, or you can right click and choose Move to Back. So now it's behind there. And I do want this to go off the edge because I kind of like it just looking that way just a little bit more. And I actually think I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And we'll move that off the edge just even a little bit more. Okay. So that's looking good. It's not going to matter because this isn't going to be part, it's not going to cut out that way. We're actually, the only thing that we're going to have lines for is this outer one. But there is a fun alternative to this. If you want to combine cutting with your print and cut, you could cut these two elements out. So you could have an orange background and then you could have a polka dot background and just layer them on top of each other and then just use this part as a print and cut. So you could do it either way. You could use it as cuttable elements, or you could combine all to be one printable element, or you could kind of mix and match it. So there's kind of some fun to be had there. Okay, so the one last thing that we need to get is this poison element. So I'm going to come up here and grab the label and copy and paste, and let's size it down. And let's size it down just a little bit more. And then what I want to do is I want this to sit behind this line just so that it looks like it's kind of layered underneath it. I kind of like that better. So I'm just going to go ahead and press the Control or Command and the left square bracket until it goes behind. Okay, there we go. Quick, easy, utilizing the elements that you may already have in your arsenal. If not, you know where to find them. All right, thanks for stopping by.